Welcome to the Do What You Love podcast, a podcast with a mixture of personal development and career advice to help you reach your full potential. Now over to your host, Life Purpose Champion, Amanda Heal.
Hello and welcome to the Do What You Love podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Heal. In this episode, I am going to continue to read you the abridged version of the rest of Chapter 1 that we started in the previous episode. The 3 steps to discover your life's purpose. What I'm about to share with you is my distilled learning from 3 years of stumbling around searching for my purpose. If you follow these steps, your journey will hopefully be shorter and more focused than mine, and you'll discover your purpose sooner and with more clarity than I did. I believe that there are 3 steps that you need to discover your life's purpose. They are: 1. Examine your present. 2. Examine your past. And 3. Examine your passions and dreams. You might want to undertake a psychometric or personality test such as Myers-Briggs Type Indicator or DISC to assist in this examination. These tests tell you quite a lot about your behaviour in different situations. There are many of these tests available that can serve different functions and provide different results. Some of these tests can only be performed by a psychologist, and some are available online for free or for a small cost. Others are facilitated by trained professionals such as life coaches and career coaches. You might be asking, how do I examine my present, past, and passions? There are many ways you can do this, so I'll tell you about the method that works for me. You can then adapt it to best suit yourself. First, it's important to choose the right environment for this process. Sometimes I think better lying down or sitting comfortably in a quiet place with no interruptions. Other times, my thoughts flow more easily if I'm doing something repetitive with my hands, such as simple knitting. Others have told me they think better while walking or in nature. Secondly, you must ask yourself a specific question. It would not be something broad like, what is my purpose? Rather, it must be narrow, perhaps a particular aspect of the broader question. I like to ask God the question, but you can ask yourself, the universe, or anyone you prefer. Thirdly, you have to wait for the answer. Continuing to ask the question over and over again, or somehow striving for the answer, only causes anxiety. You will receive nothing at all. Ask your question and wait. I wouldn't necessarily call this waiting period meditation. It's more of a relaxation of the mind. I don't try and think of anything, but I don't try and not think of anything either. If an irrelevant thought comes in, like, what am I going to have for dinner? I let it pass through without dealing with it. It's like letting a rope or piece of yarn run loosely through my fingers. Eventually, something relevant comes through. It may be an answer or a related question. I take hold of it and ponder it for a while. Sometimes I will let it go and wait for another thought, but other times it leads me down a path of consideration. Sometimes if I'm stuck on a tough question, I need to store it away for a while and come back to it later. I like to think of this as being similar to putting a tough piece of meat into a slow cooker to stew for a while. When I return to the question hours or even days later, it is much easier to deal with, and I can often draw really good answers from it, much like how the slow cooker tenderizes and draws flavour from the meat. Finally, it's a good idea to record particularly good thoughts or decisions. You can use a pen and paper, a computer, or perhaps a recording device such as a phone. Detailed recording can interrupt the flow of thoughts, so it's often better to record a word or two to jolt your memory later. After you're finished, you can write everything out in full. Alternatively, you can pause your thought process, record whatever you've decided or come up with, and then restart from where you left off. Be aware that following the steps above to discover and refine your life's purpose will require some deep thinking on your part and will take some time. But I promise that every minute you spend and every ounce of effort you put into this process will be worth much more than you ever expected. Your life's purpose is a broad thing: to serve, to entertain, to work in nature. It is the way that you live out your life's purpose that makes it uniquely yours. I didn't discover my life's purpose all at once, but my life's purpose and the way to live it out have gradually been revealed over time and are still being refined. My life's purpose is becoming clearer and more exciting to me every day, and I have no doubt that yours will too. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Do What You Love podcast. Until next time, have a great day and do what you love.
You've been listening to the Do What You Love podcast with Amanda Heal. Feeling unfulfilled and frustrated and unclear what to do next? Access Amanda's Are You Living Out Your Purpose quiz and resources to get you started on your journey to doing what you love at www.purposevisionfuture.com. That's purposevisionfuture.com.